Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Ned Reynolds, Mike the intern. Thank God it's Friday. So both the Bears and Lady Bears got a chance to play yesterday. Did they each get a win?
Split a doubleheader. Of course, the doubleheader was not literally in the same ballpark. And what we'll do here is talk about the scores and then detail them a little bit later on. The Bears won their game in Las Cruces, New Mexico, 84-75 over New Mexico State, but the Lady Bears lost to the legendary Louisiana Tech Lady Techsters, one of the great teams in the early years of women's basketball in the NCAA. La Tech beat the Lady Bears 60-51, and we'll talk about them a little bit later.
So if you're not into basketball and you still want more football, hopefully you got a chance to watch that game last night.
It was very, very interesting. It's called the American Bowl, and it's a college all-star game of which there are several around the country. The East-West game is coming up here on Tuesday night, I think it is. This was the American Bowl. It's the first year for the American Bowl, but it's not a new bowl game. It does have a new name. It's the old Hula Bowl, which went under, I guess, out of Honolulu, and they moved it to the USA, renamed it the American Bowl, and it honors the American veterans, which is a really good idea. Played it on the campus of Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida. And pretty good array of talent there. The teams were coached by a couple of former NFL bosses, Brian Billick and Mike Smith, and they both had their charges. Now, do they take it seriously? Yes, they do, because there are many scouts there watching this game. So the one team, the Warhawks, won the game 7-6, and that's a key because the Warhawks quarterback, who was the most valuable player, is Jacob Clark from Missouri State. Threw a touchdown pass. He threw another to his buddy, Shamari Lawrence, a key flat pass. Now, they split the times between the quarterbacks. There are others on the team, but Jacob Clark had the most effective of all of them, and he was one of the three most valuable players in the game. That's really great news because I think Jacob Clark, who's a little bit older than most of the other college players, he's 25, I think he deserves a shot in the NFL, certainly as a free agent, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's not a lower round draft somewhere.
That's what I was going to get to, is these bowl games are just like mini NFL combines, so just you got to look at it when you watch them that way, because there's a lot of talent.
The combine is an invitation.
Yeah.
They're the big name players. They're the headline guys. Not all of them, but they're the ones the scouts think have the great chance of getting into the draft and being a name. Well, none of these guys has received any invitation to the combine, but they certainly do deserve it. There's a lot of talent on the field, and these are guys who will be right in there before it's all over.
Lady Bears and Bears played yesterday. We talked about that earlier, but we didn't really get into the details. How'd the Bears look?
We got their scores is what it was, and the Bears surprised me because they played very well out in Las Cruces, New Mexico at the Pan American Center and beat New Mexico State 84-75. Now, the Bears beat New Mexico State here as well, but it was kind of a different game, and the Aggies from Las Cruces and New Mexico State had trouble handling the Bears' defense in the first half. That was back several weeks ago. Well, this time came right out, and they hadn't made any adjustments. It's not a real good perimeter shooting team, New Mexico State. They can score, but it's a different style from what the Bears play. Anyway, Keith Pallick, the Bears' one-year transfer from California, Pennsylvania, and a New Jersey kid, led the scoring with 26 points and did a great job. Bears win it 84-75 over New Mexico State, so that gives them a regular season sweep. Now, who knows? They might meet in the conference championships, but we'll have to see what happens when that bridge comes around in March. Anyway, a win for the Bears. Lady Bears, not so fortunate. Louisiana Tech out of Ruston, Louisiana, comes up here and wins the game 60-51. Mike, we tried to point this out to historians who might be listening. Louisiana Tech is one of the storied basketball programs in the country. Back in the 1980s, they were a contender. They won 2 national championships. They were a contender for championships every single year. And it was just a foremost and paragon of women's basketball. Then along came the Lady Bears just a few years later. And then along comes Tennessee and Texas Tech. And now currently it's Connecticut. But be that as it may, Louisiana Tech beat the Lady Bears 60-51. Lainey Douglas had 15 for the Lady Bears, but not enough, and a win for the Lady Techsters.
we've got the Panthers playing as well, don't we? What happened with those guys?
They had a doubleheader, and there's a change in their schedule, too, I might add. The Panthers and Lady Panthers played Illinois Springfield. These are conference games. Lady Panthers won their game easily, 81-49. But the Panthers didn't have such a good second half, and Illinois Springfield came away with an 87-72 win over the Drury Ball Club. Now, the schedule's been changed because the teams have another doubleheader scheduled for Saturday, but instead they're going to play it tonight. And, well, this evening and tonight. They're going to move the games to Friday, and that's because of the pending weather conditions. So the Drury schedule does go through some alterations, and the games back-to-back now, and within 24 hours they'll play again.
And we've got the AFC and NFC championships on Sunday, looking to be a pretty good matchup. We've got the Rams and Seahawks at the end, but before that, Patriots are going to Mile High.
And interestingly enough, while we're having big-time weather problems, apparently going to have weather problems here, they do not out in the West.
Now,
it's not exactly a good show for the Denver-New England game because it's going to be a little bit colder than what they expected. But hey, come on, it's Denver. You expect that. And it's the New England Patriots. Anyway, at this hour, it's the Patriots 5.5-point favorite over Denver at Denver. How do you explain that? Well, Bo Nix. Bo Nix is not going to play for the Denver Broncos. He's out for the rest of the season. And the guys in Vegas think that makes a big difference. And the Patriots are a very good team. The second game, Seattle and Los Angeles in Seattle. It'll be a temperature in the mid-40s. It's always damp in Seattle. But the Seahawks, who are a very good team, 2.5-point favorite over the Rams. They're in the same division of the Western Conference. And they've played twice already and split their series. So we'll see what happens. Third game, according to the guys who know out in Vegas, should go to the Seahawks by 2.5 points.
We'll see, man. It's going to be some good competition either way, Ned. Have a great weekend. Stay safe, and more importantly, stay warm.